Students, first I will introduce the second PUC syllabus to you, and later we are discussed each at every chapter one by one. So first of all, you know, in the first PUC, the syllabus is having totally 17 chapters, but they are reduced syllabus, and we are explained only 13 chapters, right? So those chapters already we have finished in the online and offline classes also. So this year also the computer science subject So this year, the computer science subject is having totally 17 chapters. The 17 chapters that make it as 4 units. So here I will show the slides, observe the slides, and make the points in your notebook. So it is having only 4 units. The unit A is backdrop of computers. Second unit, unit B is computing in C++. Unit C is large data, database and queries. Unit D is advanced concepts in communication technology. Students, so this year the PU board, they are not sent any notification for the syllabus. We have follow the complete syllabus, but once the notification will be given, so we must follow the notification. So here the unit A is having major 4 chapters. What all the chapters comes under unit A means, the chapter 1 is typical configuration of computer system. Chapter 2 is Boolean algebra. Third chapter is logic gates, and fourth chapter is data structure. Are you clear, students? So unit A is having how many chapters? 4 chapters. The 4 chapters are typical configuration of computer system, Boolean algebra, logic gates, and data structure. Now we go for unit B. Unit B is very important unit because all the practical oriented chapters comes in the unit B. It is having major chapters. So the first chapter in unit B is review of C++. In the first PUC already we are explained the overview of C++. The same chapter just we are review in the second chapter. The second chapter in the unit B is basic concepts of OOP. This chapter is also already was studied in first PUC. The same concepts again we are explained in second PUC. The third chapter in unit B is classes and objects. It is very important chapter because all the practical oriented programs are implemented by using these concepts only, classes and objects concept. Next, the fourth chapter is function overloading. Fifth one is constructors and destructors. Sixth one is inheritance. Seventh one is pointers, and eighth one is data file handling. Dear friends, the unit B is having totally 8 chapters. And next we go for unit C. Unit C is a back-end software related chapters. So the unit C is large data, database and queries. Here it is having only 2 chapters, database concepts and structured query language. In short form we are called as SQL. So many chapters, unit C is having only 2 chapters. The 2 chapters are database concepts and structured query language. So the structured query language is a practical oriented chapter. Database concept is very important because it is included in accountancy syllabus also. Clear? Next we go for the last unit in second PUC syllabus is unit D. Unit D is advanced concepts in communication technology. Unit A is advanced concepts in communication technology. So this unit is having the 3 chapters. It is having only 3 chapters. These chapters are related to networking, internet and web designing. The 3 chapters of unit A is first one networking concepts, second one is internet and open source concepts, and third one is a web designing concepts. Students, are you clear about the syllabus, second PUC syllabus? It is having only 4 units. So each and every unit is having certain chapters. So we are discussed one by one. Before I introduce the chapters, so just I will give the clue. So the first unit is only the theory unit. So it is not related to any other unit or it is not related to practical. The second unit is practical oriented unit. So that's why first we are start the second unit or unit B, because if once the offline classes will be started, so we are given practicals from the beginning day itself. So that's why we are give the introduction to the unit B. In the unit B, the first chapter I will take it as review of C++. So in this review of C++ chapter, what are all the contents we are discussed? So briefly, I will give the content list. So first, how the C++ language will be developed. So who introduces C++ language? So in which year the C++ language will be developed? What are all the characteristics the C++ language is having? What are all the character sets we are used to implement the program using C++ language? So what are the tokens we are used in the C++ language? And what is variable? What is array? What are the types of arrays? How we are declare and initialize the different types of arrays in the program? Then what is function? What are the types of functions? There are two types of functions are there: library functions and user-defined functions. So next, structure. How the structure will be declared and how the structure will be defined in the program. So all these chapters already there are included in the first PUC, but in the first PUC you will not learn user-defined functions and structure chapter because that can be reduced in the 70% of syllabus. So here in the review of C++ chapter, I will give the introduction of functions, user-defined functions, and also structures because it is very important once we are implement the programs using C++ language by using classes and object concept. Yeah. So first, we are starting the first concept in the review of C++ chapter is history of C++. Student, in the year of 1960, the Dennis Ritchie mathematician, he introduced C language. The Dennis Ritchie mathematician introduced C language in the year of 1960. So C language we are called as a middle level language. C language we are called as a middle level language. So why it is called as middle level language means the C language is machine independent language and it can be worked based on bit, byte and address. C language can be worked based on bit, byte and address. So you know the meaning of bit. Bit is a binary digit. Either it is a 0 or 1. So bit is a binary digit. Either it is a 0 or 1. So you know the meaning of byte also. Clear? Byte is a sequence of 8 bits or it is a combination of 8 zeros and ones. So the sequence of 8 bits we are called as bytes. And address. Address means the computer is having a memory. So that memory is having a particular address. So that address can be used to store our data or our programming elements values. So the C language we are called as a middle level language because it can be worked based on bit, byte and addresses. So later, the C language can be used from 1960 to 1980. So almost the maximum programs can be developed by using a C language or C programming language. So later, the C language is having some drawbacks. So slowly the people or scientists can understand what all the drawbacks are there in the C language. So what are the main drawbacks are available in C language means the C language can be used to implement a small programs or it can be used to implement a program by using a single main function or we can implement our user defined functions, but we cannot implement inheritance programs, we cannot implement polymorphism programs, we cannot implement data abstraction, we cannot implement encapsulation. So these programs we can't implement using C language. Once the scientists know the drawback of the C language, so there introduced some of the new programming concepts, and that programming concept they were called as object oriented programming. Clear? So the C language is having certain drawbacks. So the scientists can introduce new ideas and build those new ideas and implement a new programming approach. So that is called as a object-oriented programming. So this object-oriented programming language is implemented by using class concept. Students, you know the meaning of class. So class is a class is a group of objects. Class is a group of objects. It is having common properties, identical behaviors, and share some relationship. So this class can be used to implement programs using object-oriented programming. So once the classes concept is introduced, so in the year of 1980, so that classes can be used to implement the programs. Most inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, data abstraction, data binding, message passing, so dynamic binding, all these concepts they were implemented using classes. So that's why the classes with the C language, they are called as C++ programming language. Classes with the C language, they are called as C++ programming language. So this C++ programming language was introduced by Bernie Strostrup, is a mathematician and computer scientist. So this C++ programming language was introduced by Bernie Strostrup. It is very important question for 1 mark. In the first PUC second assignment, they are asked the question, right? So who introduced C++ language? So most probably in the second PUC also they were asked 1 mark question, who introduced C++ language? So answer is Bernie Strostrup introduces C++ language. So along with the Bernie Strostrup, so his colleagues are also present to implement new ideas in the C++ language. So this language can be implemented in the AT&T laboratories, AT&T and the computer labs. So by using those labs, they are introducing C++ language. So those labs are located in USA. So this C++ programming language is helped to implement simulation projects. So what is simulation project? Simulation projects means it is having number of modules. The project contains a number of modules. Each and every module can be implemented separately and tested separately. Then all the modules can be combined. Finally, they are doing integrated test. Then they get the result of the project. So this type of simulation projects can be implemented using C++ language. So C++ language is a object-oriented programming language. So this can be worked more efficient. Clear, students? So C++ language is introduced from C language. So that's why C++ we are called as a superset of C language. So why it is called as a superset of C language? It is basically introduced from C language. So any program we are developed in C language, all the programs are valid programs in C++ language because it is a advanced version of C language, right? So we are implemented the classes concepts in C language. So that's why if any program they were implemented in C language, so those programs we are used in C++ language without doing any changes or without doing any modification. But the C++ programs are not valid in C language because it is an updated version. C is a middle level language. But here C++ we are called as a high level language. So why it is called as high level language? C language. So C++ language is having its own syntax. It is having its own rules to implement the program. It is having its own source code. Clear? So that source code does not depend on mission configuration. The source code does not depend on the mission configuration. So that's why C++ language we are called as a mission independent language. So it is called as a high level language. It is a pure high level language. So C++ is a superset of C language. Any valid C programs are valid in C++ also. But all the C++ programs are not valid in C language. Clear? So C++ can be used the C++ language is having a huge library functions. Use library functions. Library functions means it is a built-in functions. built-in functions ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, we find the square root of any number. The square root of 4 is 2. The answer is very simply, very easily we can say that because we know the mathematical symbol to write the square root and we know the value of square root of 4. Clear? But the square root symbol, it is not available in our C++ language. But we can use some function. SQRT is a function. So that SQRT function is having the argument. So which number we are passed as the argument, that function is gives its square root value. Clear? So that type of built-in functions are available in C language. All the C software functions, built-in functions are available in or existing in C++ language. Clear? So those software libraries we are used to construct the classes. C++ can make use of existing C software libraries with a major addition of class constructs. Are you clear, students, this point? So next, so this language was called C with classes. Why it is called as C with classes? The C++ is introduced from C language, and here it is a object-oriented programming. In the object-oriented programming, the classes we are used to construct the programs. So that's why the C++ language we are called as a C with classes. So in the year of 1980, they were called C with classes. C is implemented and they were called as C with classes. And in the later of 1983 or in the year of 1983, the mathematician Rick Mascitti, the name of the mathematician is Rick Mascitti, he gave the name C with classes as C++. So who gave the name C++? Instead of C with classes, Rick Mascitti is a scientist. So the scientist introduced C++ name with instead of C with classes in the year of 1983. So in the same year, the Rick Mascitti is announced C++ is a most popular language. So in which year he is announced C is C++ is the most popular language in the year of 1983. Clear? So who gave the name C++? For the C with classes means Rick Mascitti. In which year the Rick Mascitti gave the name C++ in 1983. Clear? So as the name C++ implies, C++ was derived from C programming language. ++ is increment operator in C. In the name itself, you understand C is a programming language, ++ is an increment operator. C is an existing programming language in the early 1960s or before 1980s. But here we are implement new concepts, right? So that new concept we are added. So that's why they are put ++. C++. C++ is derived from C programming language. ++ is an increment operator in C. So this is history, how the C++ language is developed. Clear? So you clear how the C++ language is developed? Okay. Next concept is characteristics of C++ language. Any of the language can be implemented. All the languages, it is having its own characteristic. Clear? Like that, the C++ language is also having a number of characteristics. Here, according to the syllabus, we are discussed only certain characteristics. Here I will list out what are all the characteristics the C++ language is having. The first characteristic is object-oriented programming. Second one, portability. Third one, modular programming. Fourth one, C compatibility. Fifth one is speed. Sixth one, machine independent. Seventh one is flexibility. Eighth one is wide range of library functions. And ninth one is system software development. It is very important for 2 marks that has characteristics of C++ language. So you mention any of the 4. So what are the characteristics of C++ language? Object-oriented programming, portability, modular programming, C compatibility, speed, mission independent, flexibility, wide range of library functions, and system software development. So we are discussed one by one. So what is object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming means It allows the programmer to design applications like a communication between object rather than on a structured sequence of code. It allows a greater reusability of the code in a more logical and productive way. For example, so once we are use ATM machine, the ATM machine is having certain code, right? So that is the end user platform. So that mission we are used to do the transaction. So that mission is having certain software or certain code. So that code we are implemented as a application. So that application can build the communication between the mission and the user. So that mission is having certain application. Already the system analyst can design the applications, and that application we are used to communicate with the computer, and that code can be reusability. N number of users can do the transactions in the same ATM center. So that same mission can give the same code to do the number of transactions repeatedly. So this code is working more efficient and productive. So object-oriented programming means it can be used to implement applications, number of applications that can be build a communication between the mission and the user. Next is portability. So what is the meaning of portability? We are implement the C++ program. That program we are compiled in any of the computer and any of the operating system without making any changes in the code. So we are implementing the C++ program. That program we are compiled in either desktop computer or laptop computer or Windows XP operating system or Windows 2000 operating system. So Windows 2007 Ultimate operating system or any of the operating systems. So the same code implemented in the C++ language can be compiled in any of the computer or any of the operating system. So C++ is having a portability characteristic. So modular programming. You know the meaning of module. Module means the program is divided into smaller programs. That smaller programs we are called as a module. So when we are use modules, suppose we want to implement the project. So the project is having a huge number of codings, right? So the single person cannot implement a project for a short period of time. In that time, the project can be divided into number of modules. So those modules can be implemented separately and the modules can be tested separately. Finally, we have combined all the modules and get the output of the main module or main project. So modular programming concept is also available in the C++ programming language, because we are divided our program into number of modules. All the modules we are implemented separately and compiled separately. Finally, we have combined all the modules together and saving the compiler time and user development time. So C++ language, it supports modular programming. So the next characteristic is C compatibility. So C compatibility means, already I will explain, C can be used to implement C++ language. All the C programs are valid in C++ programs. Clear? So already earlier or before 1980, what all the programs or what all the applications can be developed using C language. So those programs still we are used in updated versions. Clear? For example, now we are using our mobile. The mobile is having Android operating system. So in that, applications can be worked on the Java software. So here, this Java software is a superset of C++ language. C++ is a superset of C language, like that. Any code written in C language that easily be included in a C++ program without making any changes, because C++ is having a upgradability. Clear? Next characteristic is speed. So C is a middle level language. It will require some of the softwares to translate C language to machine language. Here C++ language is having two softwares. One is interpreter and compiler software. So these softwares can be used to compile our C++ code to machine code. So that speed is very high compared to C language. So the C++ language is compile the program by using a fraction of seconds to high level language to low level language. Next characteristic is C is a C++ is a mission independent language. So why it is called as a mission independent language? So C++ language is having certain rules or syntax or syntax, and it is having its own structure. By using that structure only, by using those keywords only, we are implemented the C++ program. So it is not directly depend upon mission. Once we write the program by using zeros and ones, that is mission dependent language. Here we are using a high level language. So this high level language is a mission independent language. Clear? C++ is a mission independent language. So next is a flexibility. Flexibility means, so the C++ language is more flexible to the user because it is having some of the objects. It is having certain statements. So those statements we can easily implement it. Those objects we can use reuse the program implementation. So C++ language is more flexibility language and it is having the versatility. So next characteristic is wide range of library functions. So already I will explain. C language is having a system libraries. System libraries means certain functions are built when the software will be implemented. For example, cube root, power function, square root function, printf function, scanf function. Clear? So like that, sign function, pause function, all the mathematical functions and string handling functions. String strlen function to find the length of the string, strcat function to add two strings, string concatenation, strcpy to copy one string value to another string, strcpy. All these functions are already built in the software. Those functions we are called as a library functions. C++ is also having a library function. So those library functions can reduce our program development time. Means just we are called the function. Instead of writing the separate code for the function, just we are use that function in our program. It will save our development time. So the code implementation time will be reduced. And also it will reduce the cost of software development. Once we are separately develop all the codes for all the functions, so the software development cost is high. We are just call the function, so it will reduce the cost of software development. Clear? Next, the last characteristic is system software development. What is system software development? System software development means the C++ language can be used to implement certain system softwares. So, for example, of the system softwares or application softwares, operating system, compilers, editors, databases, linkers, loaders, etc. Clear? So these are all the examples of system software. So these system softwares can also be developed by using a C++ language. C++ language is having the characteristic to develop the system softwares. Examples of system softwares are all types of operating system, compilers, editors, databases, loaders, linkers, etc. Clear? So these are all the characteristics of C++ language. So next we go for the next concept. The next concept is C++ character set. What is character set? Character set means it is a valid set of characters that a language can recognize. Andre, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ C++ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪೈಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ C++ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು C++ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಎ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್. So here the C++ language is having three set of characters. So the C++ language is having how many set of characters? Three set of characters. The three set of characters are alphabets. Alphabets means either we are using uppercase alphabets and lowercase alphabets. You know the meaning of uppercase and lowercase, right? Uppercase means capital letters, lowercase means small letters. So the C++ is having either uppercase alphabets or lowercase alphabets from A to Z. So all the letters, uppercase or lowercase letters are valid characters in the C++ language to implement the program. The second character set is digits. So totally it is having only 10 digits. The 10 digits are 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Totally 10 digits are available. All the 10 digits are valid character sets in the C++ language. And third one is a special characters. Special characters such as full stop, comma, apostrophe, colon, semicolon, question mark, exclamatory mark, underscore, so pipeline symbol, left braces, right braces, hash symbol, left angle, left bracket, right bracket. So we are using exponent symbol, parenthesis, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, ampersand, backslash, forward slash, tilde symbol or negation symbol, arithmetic operators, for example, plus, minus, multiplication operator, into, division, modulus. We are using the relational operators, less than, greater than, etc. These are all the special characters we are used to implement the C++ programs. Clear, students? What are all the character sets we are used in C++? Alphabets, digits, and special characters. Alphabets means either it is uppercase or lowercase letters from A to Z. Digits 0 to 9 and special characters. Example, plus, minus, less than, greater than, modulus, star, open, close, brackets, parentheses, braces, full stop, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamatory, all these except the alphabets and digits. So certain valid symbols we are used to implement the program. Those symbols we are called as a special character. So what are all the character sets here we are used? Either it is alphabets, digits, or special characters. Each and every character is having its own ASCII code. You know the meaning of ASCII? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. These characters is having its own ASCII code. So based on that ASCII code, the high level language, C++ language, is converted to mission level language and the program will be compiled efficiently. Clear? So what are all the character sets? Alphabets, digits, and special characters. So next concept is C++ tokens. Token means it is the smallest individual unit that can be that cannot again subdivided. A smallest individual unit in the C++ is called as a token. Clear? The C++ language is having certain tokens. There are keyword, constants, variables, operators, punctuators, etc. So that can be explained in the next class. Students, here the CS meeting will be end. The commerce students are joined to accountancy class and science students later 11:30. You are joined for your other subject classes. Thank you, students.